Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Empson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern woman who wants to align her life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Hi friends, welcome to episode number 1 of the Own Your Best Life podcast. I am so excited to start sharing with you my journey as a career changer, a mom, and a spiritual seeker, and all of the lessons that I've learned along the way. I'm thrilled that this week, we will be starting off with the first step to living a life on your own terms. Stop using failure as an excuse. So when I first started thinking big and began the work of living a life on my own terms, one of my biggest struggles was taking the first step. How do I actually start to live differently? How do I start over? How do I unravel the life that others or maybe myself had originally dreamed up? And what do I even want for myself? What if I fail? I didn't always know that coaching, training, and personal development work would be my path. And I had decades of cultural conditioning that told me that these weren't real jobs. And in order to shed these beliefs, I had to ask myself all of these questions again and again. So like many achievers, I've gotten to where I am because I had high expectations of myself, or I worked to meet the high expectations of others. That makes me an amazing teammate, employee, athlete, teacher, and leader, but it isn't and wasn't always healthy. I got sick often, absorbing the stress of other people and pulling all-nighters. I was also sucked into one of the biggest downfalls of high expectations, which is the spiral of blame and doubt that starts to occur when things didn't go my way or when, despite my best attempts, shock, horror, I failed. And it was in these crazy, intense jobs and situations that I realized that failure was out of my control. I realized that even if I pushed myself to the brink of exhaustion to deliver, I couldn't always control the outcome, and I still might not meet the expectations of others. I still might not even meet my own goals. I still might not be able to fix everything. Failure was always a possibility. And not only that, there would always be more. There would always be more demands, more expectations, and more problems. This was an exhausting and never-ending cycle of trying to control the uncontrollable. As I began to break free from this cycle, I began to wonder how I could change these survivalist behaviors of people-pleasing and situation-fixing and return to what I felt was more in tune with me, which is the dance between effort and fun and questioning and curiosity. Knowing that failure was always a possibility, could I change the focus of my effort? Could I focus my efforts internally so that I was living with the possibility of failing in the pursuit of something I valued, not something someone else valued? So I began to try out a new way of living, and I still had failures. But the funny thing is, when I was living in the status quo of people-pleasing and situation-fixing, things didn't always work out either. It sucks to fail, but it sucks even more to be exhausted and overworked while failing. And in order to make that shift from looking outward to looking inward, I had to value my own growth more than I valued meeting someone else's demands. sometimes unreasonable demands. And I had to value my own wellness more than I valued solving everyone else's problems. And I had to value myself, period. So the lesson here is that living a life on our own terms means that we might deviate from the norm and the tried and true. And it means forging our own path based on what we value, not what we achieve. And when we've been validated time and time again for success, whether it's professionally or personally, it's difficult to unshackle our self-worth from our achievements. But we have to cut the cords. And if we want to see the change occur, we have to stop judging ourselves for failures. And we need to make failure normal and acceptable, because it's going to be a part of a life where we take risks. If we are living a full life of multiple obligations and big goals and dreams, things will fall apart once in a while. While you are special in so many ways, this is not one of them. You are not going to avoid failure. You're not going to be able to make everything just right. But if you aim your efforts on living on your own terms and taking some risks in the process, you can see each failure as a sign of growth and congratulate yourself for stepping into the ring and not playing it safe. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. It'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.